All right, let's talk about something huge, something that affects all of us, wealth. We're often told it's about luck or who you know. But what if I told you that's not the whole story? What if there's an actual equation for building real financial success? Well, today we're going to break that equation down.
First, just to get a sense of what's possible, take a look at this number, $117 billion. That was Jeff Bezos's net worth at one point. It's a number so big, it's kinda hard to even wrap your head around it.
And while that number exists in one universe, for most of us, our financial reality looks a little different, right? It's a world filled with student debt, rent that's way too high, feeling stuck at a job, and that nagging feeling that you're just not being paid what you're worth.
So when you see that massive gap between those two worlds, you can't help but ask, right? Is this whole game just rigged? For a lot of people, it sure feels that way. And you know, it's so easy to believe the game is rigged against you. But what if that's not the whole picture? What if there's a totally different way to play the game? A set of rules you just haven't been taught yet?
To learn those new rules, we have to start by completely demolishing the old ones. So that brings us to our first section, your flawed equation. We're about to debunk some of the biggest myths about how people actually get rich.
Okay, let's just blow up the biggest myth right from the start, that wealthy people are just born into it. The data tells a completely different story. A whopping 68% of the world's ultra-wealthy are entirely self-made.
And we're talking about names you absolutely know. Oprah Winfrey and Starbucks' Howard Schultz, both born into poverty. Sarah Blakely, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, all self-made. So the real question isn't, were they just lucky? It's, what did they understand that most of us don't?
Well, here's the secret. They all rejected this old equation. You know the one. It's what we're all taught from day one. That money is just a salary you get from a job. And the whole point of going to school is to get a better job so you can get a higher salary.
But here's the massive, fundamental flaw in that thinking, the one that keeps so many people trapped. Your time does not equal wealth. When you trade your time for money, you're trading away the one thing you can never, ever get back.
And the math on this is just brutal. I mean, think about it. If you make $20 an hour, it would take you nearly 24 years to bring in $1 million. And that's before they take out taxes and before you spend a dime on anything. It's a losing game from the very beginning.
So if trading your time for money is a trap, then what's the real path? Let's dive into Section 2. It's time to uncover the core secret to building wealth. And I'll give you a hint. It's not what you've been chasing your whole life.
Okay. This is probably the most important mental shift you can possibly make. It's going to sound completely backward, but here it is. Stop chasing money.
So if you're not supposed to be chasing money, what are you supposed to be chasing? The answer is value. Specifically, perceived value. In our society, you get paid in proportion to the value that the market, that's, other people, believes you have. It has almost nothing to do with how hard you work.
Here's a perfect example. A cleaner works incredibly hard, no doubt, but the skill is common, so the market perceives its value as relatively low. A top football player, on the other hand, has an incredibly rare skill that millions of people will pay to see. They aren't replaceable, and the market rewards them with a fortune.
And this all leads us to the real foundation of this new equation. Money is just a byproduct. It's what you get when you solve problems for other people. The bigger the problem you solve, the more the market is going to reward you. It's that simple.
Okay, so solve problems. Got it. But there's one more piece to the puzzle, and this one is absolutely crucial. You have to solve for scale. This is the real difference between just having a high-paying job and building a true fortune.
So on the left, you see models that are bound by time. A yoga teacher gets paid by the hour. A local restaurant is limited by the number of seats it has. There is a hard cap on their income. But on the right, you see scalable models. An online yoga course can be sold an infinite number of times. A restaurant franchise can have unlimited locations. Their income is totally disconnected from their time.
So here it is, the new wealth equation, broken down into 3 simple steps. First, you find a problem. You just listen to what people are complaining about. Second, you build a scalable solution for it, a system that doesn't need you there for every dollar that comes in. And third, you automate and systemize it. You outsource, you hire, you build a machine that can run without you. So you build this machine, you create this incredible system. But why? What's the point of it all? That brings us to our last section, the ultimate payoff. And trust me, it's not the money, it's the freedom.
Seriously, just think about it for a second. After all of that effort, building a business, solving problems for thousands of people, what was the real goal? What were you really after?
Because it was never really about the money itself. I mean, money is just a tool, it's a piece of paper, it's a number on a screen. That's not the real prize.
And here's the key takeaway. From the very beginning, this entire journey, this whole quest, it was never really about the money. It was about the freedom that money makes possible. And what is that freedom? Well, it's the ability to wake up and completely own your day, to do what you want, when you want, with whoever you want, without that little voice in your head having to ask, can I afford this? It's about owning your own life.
And that brings us full circle. Your time is the one truly priceless asset you have. You can keep trading it for a wage, playing by those old, broken rules, or you could start investing it in solving scalable problems. So the only real question left is, how will you choose to invest yours?